Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction or read-through for Reiwa no Dara-san chapters 18, 19, and 20, the first third of volume 3. I think it's been good splitting the volumes into 3 so far. I mean, the videos haven't been short or anything. I've been going like 45 minutes to an hour for most of these. I think, there's a lot to discuss, a lot to enjoy, but also the chapters are really dense with story and character interactions and dialogue. There are some series you'll watch, like action-focused series, where you might have a fight chapter or something, and there's not actually a lot to read, but this is, again, dense with story. So I'm excited to continue on. I've been completely obsessed with Reiwa no Dara-san. Episode 2 of the anime was good once again as well. I praised a lot that I liked how they were, switching some things around timeline-wise, or not really even timeline-wise, but just chapter order-wise. I mean, the timeline still makes complete sense. But they are doing their own thing, and they're adding some things in, and it makes it so that, you watch the anime and you read the manga, and it's still, even if you are an anime only, it's still really worth it to read the manga because of some things that they kind of left out or skimmed over, like when Kaoru gets the soda and calls Dara-san to say, okay, I'm coming over, what kind of soda do you want? Because they did things out of order, they couldn't do that scene. I was like, oh, it's a bummer that they left that out, but then I realized they left that out, but because they did it out of order. So we haven't done the swimsuit Kaoru fan service episode yet, or that chapter yet. But that chapter is the chapter where they get Dara-san's phone number. So that's why they couldn't do the scene that way, because of the different order, because they wouldn't have had Dara-san's number yet. So that happens in that chapter. Also, the family photo with them all in the Miko outfits happens in that chapter. So it seems like maybe episode 3, again, by the time this video comes out, we will have all watched episode 3, so we probably know by then. We'll probably be doing that in episode 3. And I said last time that while it's not the keyest thing ever, it will be very disappointing to not have Kaoru fan service. But after reading more last video and, just having even more attractive Kaoru, I feel like, you know what? It is pretty important. And I also think just, another week of censorship news and censorship news, you get to a point where you can be chill about things and it's like, okay, it's not that big a deal, I'll move on about this, or I see where they're coming from for that. But every person, everything has its breaking point, and you get to a point where it's like, okay, I just have censorship fatigue. They're like, I am done with censorship. So now I am probably going to be more disappointed if they censor Kaoru fan service than I would have been before. I mean, I would have been disappointed before, but now that I've thought on it more and again just experienced more disappointment elsewhere, it just kind of has hit the point where it's like, no, I don't want to be, even though they've done so much to add into the anime, I just don't feel like being supportive of things that are censoring things. I'm so tired of it. I'm tired. That's kind of where I am on that. But again, by the time you're seeing this video, you and I will already know the outcome of that. In addition to that, really quick before I started reading, I just wanted to say thank you for all of the support and everything. When I made the first few videos on Dara-san, they were getting maybe like 2 to 5 views, like pretty much actually nobody was watching them, but I was still going to do them for forever because I enjoy the series so much. I love it. I really, really have a passion for it. I've been so excited for it. So again, I've said this before with other series that I did in the past, like Promised Neverland. If there's like less than 10 people watching, but those less than 10 people are enjoying it, and I'm enjoying it, I'm going to keep doing it because I'm, again, not doing it for views or money. I'm doing it because I really, really love this. So I would have kept doing this, of course, but ever since, the anime started, things have picked up a bit more, and there's been so many supportive comments and more people watching and everything. Again, not like an insane number or anything for most people, but I just wanted to say thank you. I just wanted to say that I appreciate not being alone. Like, I appreciate not reading alone and other people talking about it, other people reading. I appreciate it. So I just wanted to say that as well. Like, even if nobody was commenting or nobody was watching, I would still be doing it. But having other people here with me reading along and talking about it has been nice. It's, it adds to the experience, of course. But either way, with all of that aside, longer intro than anticipated, let's start off the volume with chapter 18. So, we have the volume cover here, and of course, I can't show it on screen because it's a manga, but you will at least have the chapter number to follow along and the volume cover. Alright, we have our table of contents that I'm not going to look at so I don't get spoiled on any titles or anything. Even today, the rain washes away many traces. No footprints or blood trails to follow, nothing pointing him in the right direction. Jurota stood aghast at the gruesome scene before him, and I think this... So from here on, the translation I'm getting here, I don't think this is the official translation anymore. This is going to be the scans. So if there are some translation issues, I'm sorry. But again, hopefully the scanlators, like they often do, put their own love into translating the series. So again, just noticed that they had done Jurota's name differently. They had shortened the long vowels and stuff. So I could tell that the translation was different, and I thought it was going to be, since in English, Volume 3 just came out on the 26th of June. That reminds me, actually. So I had mentioned being really obsessed with the series and wanting to support it and everything. 2 or 3 weeks ago, I ordered the first couple of volumes, the first 3, and it's good. Like, I wanted to wait, and then like at the intro to a video I'd be like, oh look, I got the physical volumes, I got them physically in addition to reading the official translation for the first 2 here digitally. I also wanted to support and get the physical versions, but I wanted to just be like, hey, I got these. However, I ordered them like 2 or 3 weeks ago. They're not going to be getting here for I think like another 2 or 3 weeks, so it's been a wait. Either way, continuing on, that just reminded me, since I could tell that this was a different translation. Flesh rotting abnormally quickly, sloughing off the bones like mud. Staring at the unnatural, otherworldly corpse of the serpent, he understood that the situation he found himself in was horribly anomalous. Also, I guess one thing I'm going to be missing on my first read-through now is all of the sort of accent and everything that the official translation was doing for everybody. Again, I am going to probably think that this is good too, but I just thought the official translation for those first 2 volumes was nailing it. I thought it was doing such a good job. But he showed no signs of concern as he feebly walked ahead. As he attempted to grab the arm of the younger priestess, it began to exude an aura of hatred, regret, anger, miasma. Jurota, who had now lost the will to live and was filled with despair, was now so closely familiar with these feelings, and we see his hand being torn apart as he reaches for it. He pretended at that moment not to know them at all. But at that moment, something pushed him away. Undeniably, it was a push. Okay, so the good within Dara-san was saving him from the curse and pushing him away, I'm assuming. The love she had. When he came to his senses, he was surprised to find that the priestess's limbs had disappeared. He struggled, or maybe he just, like, we see the handprint on his chest, it was just Dara-san pushing him away, again, before she was Dara-san. Her little bit of willpower left pushing him away. He just couldn't see her because he didn't have the spiritual sense. He struggled to stand, finding it difficult to do so after his exposure to the ghastly miasma. Suffering through the nausea and dizziness, he headed down the mountain, somehow making it back to the younger priestess's home. Finally, the realization of the priestess's death hit him, and he slept as deep as if he had fainted. And we cut away to Kaoru, age 8. Hey, how come you get to go up the mountain? He's been like this ever since we had to stop going bug catching up there. I see, you're already in 3rd grade, huh? You're old enough to understand my reasons. On the other hand, simply telling you not to go there might be dangerous too. Sounds like the start of a scary story, don't you think? Bring it on. And we have 18th Strange Encounter instead of Horror 18. You can also tell from the art looks gorgeous typically, but I feel like with the scans, there is this quality that feels like a lot of the time for manga, you will have the original release, and then when you get the volume release, the art is touched up. Like they've gone back and touched up the art and made some things more detailed. I feel like you can tell that this was, maybe not though, because this I think is again scanlated from because we had the volume stuff at the beginning, scanlated from the actual volume. The art still does look good. I just feel like the faces here looked a little different to me. Looked a little less detailed, a little more sketch-like, but maybe that's just, maybe I'm just schizoing out. Or it could just be the quality of, because in order to do the scans, you're taking the physical stuff, saving it into Photoshop or Paint or whatever you're using, and then editing it and then re-uploading it. Maybe there is some quality loss in there, and that's why. So again, ignore me, I guess. We have Mutate Rider Dread, Rider by Extend or something? I can't tell. Rider 81 Extend on Kaudu's shirt. But we have the 18th Strange Encounter. I'll have to get used to that. Oh, and this is one of the shots from the ED. That's cute. I didn't expect the story to be that gory and scary. There are rumors that this house is haunted. There are pictures of dead people who have had their limbs crushed, right? Oh, why do we live on such an awful mountain? What's wrong? Mom, I heard there's something scary on the mountain. That's right, there really is something up there. Eh? Fufu, listen, Kaudu. Omatagi-sama may be terrifying, but at the same time, they're the protective deity of the mountain and everyone in the town. You remember what Grandpa says, right? You must never go near the fence. Never disrespect the shrine. If it was truly a terrifying and evil god who just wanted to curse people, I'm sure things would have turned out a lot worse by now. I suppose that's true? So it's fine as long as you don't go to the shrine? I'm not so sure. Back when I was a kid, they made a big deal about someone who got hurt trying to jump the fence as part of a test of courage. But supposedly there were people in the past who died just from getting too close. If you two behave and conduct yourselves properly with the god of the mountain, I'm sure you'll be fine. Have you ever seen Omatagi-sama? And we're getting into this flashback already. I know the end of Volume 2 used it as like promotion, but we're getting into it first chapter of Volume 3. I really don't like this. Why did I end up coming back here? My friend's boyfriend got hospitalized. Sorry to call you out here, Chiyochi. He suffered a severe pain of unknown origin in his arms and legs, and reportedly developed a clouded consciousness. I tried to stop him, but my boyfriend, who's from out of town, wouldn't listen to me at all. He just kept pushing me to go check it out with him, and I was a bit interested, so then. It'll be fine, calm down. If you're that scared, just wait here for me. I'll go ahead and scope it out first. He said that and went deep into the mountains, but when he came back, he had a frantic look on his face. He ran back home, crying all the way there. Oh, wait, don't just leave me here. And why would you run away scared? Like, is it not worth that? One of the first comments I saw on episode 1 of the anime, one of the first comments I saw was, "Run, guys, I'll hold her off." Like, again, I feel like, I don't know if I would be running or not. It's like, what's the clip from, like, American Dragon Jake Long or something, where the, like, the girl's revealed as a monster or whatever, and the guy's like, jackpot. Like that scene. Or, that one SCP that's super scary and yet super hot, the furry one. I ended up running home scared myself too, but if rumors spread about what happened to my boyfriend, they'll probably investigate the mountain. If it gets out that we trespassed, my parents will be furious, and I won't even be able to go out and do anything fun anymore. Can you go back there and grab my bag that I left behind while I was running for my life? Even though I was already helping out with taking care of the fence. I should not have gone in there. We have looming Dara-san. Say something. Speak up. My friend apologizes for being so rude. We had no intention to defile your land, Omatagi-sama. I noticed that there are some impure leftover offerings in your sanctuary, so please allow me to bring you some new ones and some sake and the bag gets dropped by her. What's your name? My name? Is it really okay to share that? With a god, let alone anything from the other side? My name is Misugi Chiyo. You look familiar. You're from the family of this land's caretakers, aren't you? I'll let this go. I'll spare you this time. Just now. That was Omatagi-sama. And so 2 years after that. I thought that I could still perform my duties, but I ended up with this injury. Sorry it's a little sooner than expected, but it's about time that you take on this role, Chiyo. And we have her entering in. To get to the shrine, head down this road. However, if you hear the sound of bells ringing, drop whatever you're doing and come back immediately. I guess, that would just be the sign that Dara-san is nearby, because the bells would ring anytime somebody enters the area or goes near the shrine. And all I can see of the shirt says Unkak in something. Anything that comes close is cursed. I bring harm to anything I touch. Terrible things befall you if you enter the snake's land. Even those of the mountain will be cast down. And we have her on the shrine as Chiyo prays there. And I'm assuming Chiyo might just not be able to see her. Maybe has Kaoru level of senses, if anything, but not Hinata level. Why don't you flee? Why choose to stay? Suppose I'm not as forgiving as I was that day. What then? I think I'm certain of it now that I've seen this place for myself. All this time you've been here with my family, or rather, I was told that Yamatagi Marara-sama was enshrined here. But the madness and curse that exudes from that shrine seems far different from what I sense from you right now. What in the world is that shrine? A curse that causes you to lose your limbs and die, and you, driving away those who would trespass and approach it. It's almost as if you're protecting us. And oof, the the big supernaturals. Oh my gosh. Ha. Eek. Over hundreds of years, there have only been a handful of people who felt this way. I count myself among them. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. I've taken a liking to you, Chiyo. I'm the god of this land's sealed curse. That's all. That is all, but just so you don't go playing with fire before you realize it, I'll tell you how dangerous this mountain is. I will trust that you aren't one to act foolishly out of mere curiosity, and that you hold your tongue tight. I will tell you the cost of this curse. Of the still sleeping head, the arm sealed in the shrine, and the story of how my soul was bound to this duty. And she makes the bell necklace that we saw Chiyo have last time. I shall tell you, with words untouched by curse, of the awfully long time that I've spent here alone, just to be able to stay and protect this mountain. You're the god who lives here, right? I'm Misugi Hinata, and this is my younger brother Kaoru. See you later. They're going to come back, she thinks. What's up with those kids? It's been 25 years or so since that other weird girl showed up. Misugiya? Grandpa? Foo, I see. I get it now. My name is Misugi Chiyo, the terrible calamity that dwells in the Forbidden Land. So these are your children, Chiyo. Rare back fan service and ass fan service for Dara-san. I feel like we don't get to see the backside done as much as the front. But I love, again, the musculature, the shape of the back, the shape of the arms as well. Really, really well done. Lamias are always interesting and difficult, like, how do you do the butt part? I feel like most just kind of cover the butt and just leave only the lower back, kind of mermaid style. But with Dara-san, we actually have the cheeks, but then she also has like these plated scales, like these heavy scales on the sides of her hips. I'll let it go this time too. As children who may grow up to take over as guardians of the mountain, they too will learn to keep me at a distance, always just out of reach. And they didn't, because it's the Reiwa era and they're crazy, like Zoomer Gen Alpha kids. But also, I think that this is a cool potential setup that we could maybe sometime way down the line probably see Dara-san, now that she's, changed and grown and sort of found herself more in the Reiwa era, to meet Chiyo again. I think that could be sweet. Let this martyr of the mountain enjoy yourself a little. By no means is that the only side to the god of the mountain, Chiyo told her children in private. I want to make models too. Hello, Dara-san, one spiriting away, please. These kids are, I love her face. And it turned out like this. Again, I just love how insane, like, and nonchalant, like, Zoomer Gen Alpha kids they are. And how Dada has to be the straight man in all of this, dealing with it. Like, she is the supernatural one, the one out of the norm, but they are so insane as kids that she becomes the normal one. I love it. It's such a good way to write the series and the comedy and all. And the shirt this time is Sun Tea Chaksaw. And I love our little, like, info stuff at the end too. I saw, again, one of you in the comments, thank you, saying that you liked it too, how we don't just get character pages, but we get like all the different video games they're playing, the locations. I really, really like how much detail has been put into basically the world building. Ojin Municipal Azarashi Middle School. The school that Hinata attends, nicknamed Aza Middle School, a long-standing establishment, it's also the school that Chiyo attended. Since it's a rural middle school with a small number of students, there aren't too many class divisions. Traditionally, the faculty stall at the annual cultural festival serves an unusually tasty curry, which coincidentally has also been shown on local TV broadcasts. That seems like a really big building, though, for the small rural middle school. And now we have GKP, and we have the model kit that Kaoru had, the blade, Tsumugi Nanakamado, 1/8 scale. Due to the nature of accumulating the heat energy received by the body and converting it into propulsion, a seraph with extremely high defense against heat, fire, and explosions. Its blade covered in sublight, or sublight flow particles, negates most physical defenses. Can't believe I could read that. That was really small. Vanguy has, in recent years, started to release new beautiful girl models of Vanpla mecha toys. Plastic model magazines and the modeling world in general have started calling these GKP, Gurakawa Plamo models. Traditionally, this type of character model would be sold as a finished product instead of a constructible model. But Vanguy bought a failing company that had produced these types of models in the past and created a new department consisting of prototype engineers. The end result was the release of this entirely new set of Vanpla models. The Seraphim Nest series of mecha-suited girls have sold particularly well due to the high quality of their mechanical components, likely short for Girl Kawaii Plastic Model. So this might be a reference of something I don't know. Are there, like, hot girl, like, waifu Gundam models? Or is it a reference to Frame Arms Girl? I am aware of Frame Arms Girl. Or is Frame Arms Girl, is that Bandai? Is that, like, Gundam? I don't know if Frame Arms Girl is actually related to Gundam like that. Or if maybe it was, like, the company was bought by Bandai, and again, this is a reference to Frame Arms Girl. That's my best guess. The only model like this that I personally know of off the top of my head is Frame Arms Girl. Which, like, I watched Frame Arms Girl week to week when it had its anime, I don't remember if I reviewed it week to week or if I just watched it. I do not remember. That was almost 10 years ago. That was almost a decade ago. But very unfortunate very unfortunate abbreviation. GKP, much easier. And then of course we have the scan credits. Again, thank you to the translators and all. And again, like they said, please support the author and publishers by buying it. And I have. Also, again, support the mangaka on Twitter and everything. They're great. I wish I could, but again, I have still been suspended. I don't know when I will ever be unbanned on Twitter. Probably never. I guess I'm just going to be gone from Twitter for forever. So I may not be able to support there, sadly. But either way, let's move on to Chapter 19. We're back in our flashback for Chapter 19. The western villagers gathered at the village head's home to wait for the men who had gone to dispose of the priestess. Still frightened by their own atrocious deeds, they waited for the good news to come. However, they're taking too long. We'll see daybreak before our meeting wraps up here. Again, I love that we're continuing with the flashback even now, and I hope we continue to do it. Because I think that the structure of these chapters is so good. Hey, someone head over to the shrine and see what's going on. Right. Somebody goes to step out. Hey, at least shut the door when you... And we have Dara-san creeping in. We have the arm dragging itself in through the doorway. The dude just hanging there. And then their arms start getting twisted. Pitiful. So pitiful. This is what you all have created. This is what you all have brought into being. I'll be completely engulfed by Yamatagi Madara within the hour, even if I manage to last until then, or if I even manage to last until then. At that rate, the villages will either fall under his control once again, or be devoured entirely, having incurred his wrath. And we have her straddling the rooftop. How could I have so carelessly allowed this to happen? Well, even if it's come to this, if it's come to this, I'll use whatever's left in me to fight against the serpent from the inside. I'll leverage my own sin against it. The thing that used to be a priestess is now enveloping the western village with the curse that's erupting from within itself. Malice and murderous intent bring about a curse only as much as they're directed toward me. Through this kind of reverse curse, they'll be spared from Yamatagi Madara's revenge. Most likely, it was at this time. I thank all of you for graciously preferring a share of your lives to me, that I, the priestess, and the savage mountain god Yamatagi Madara truly became one. Yamatagi Madara had been born again. 19th strange encounter. And we're still we go from that flashback into a more modern flashback. We kind of just start fading back in a little. I brought a gun for you this time so we can play together up in the mountains. I love Kaoru and Murph. Next time we make plastic models, I'll bring a frame that you'll really like. Special costumes that seem like they were made by the teacher. If I just consider those as offerings, I guess I probably don't need to worry about it. Those kids do whatever they want, but to think I'm putting a financial burden on a 5th grader and a middle schooler is really... So, I was thinking, when it comes to mountain gods, people used to pray for things like rain during droughts, and they would repay those prayers with rain, or for their crops to be protected from animals. They would be blessed with divine protection. Kids today don't worry about things like that. I mean, I suppose that's true. They're just using her as a table. So, well, I think I should start to repay that kind of thing with cash. Where's the mystique in that? How would you do that? I really don't want to see a god stuck working a part-time job. Well, I can't even prove my identity anyway. I also think so far I guess in the opening, Kaoru's wearing a skirt, and in the ending, there's the one shot with the crop top. But generally, I feel like Kaoru has worn a lot more girly feminine outfits in the manga than in the anime. I don't know if they've particularly changed a whole lot. Like, I would have to literally go scene by scene and compare the scene in the anime to the scene in the manga. But I feel like Kaoru has worn less pretty clothes. I don't know. But again, I feel like that's also normal for anime. Like in manga, you will have so many different outfits. Even so far, we have like multiple different outfits per chapter a lot of the time for multiple different characters. Whereas for the anime, they usually simplify the number of different outfits you see, which is a bummer. I really don't want to see a god stuck working a part-time job. Well, I can't even prove my identity anyways. So, couldn't I sell something like this? And she has a carved fox. I guess she was trying to, make a comic before, and we see her with the art supplies and stuff in the volume cover. So maybe she could become a mangaka, just make her story into a manga. She's the one writing this? What? This is so cool. And we have the little, fox shrine she carved. A charm or something else. They were originally called netsuke. These days, people don't carry around drawstring pouches or tobacco cases as much, so I tried putting a decorative string through it, but they're fine as is. Now we just need a way to sell them. I've got it. There's going to be a flea market at the temple the weekend after next. Just sell them online. We can put in the application for you, so why don't you set up shop there? Eh? I'd be the one selling them? We have a strategy. By the way, Dara-san, I know you said transformation isn't one of your strong points, but can you make your hair short? From a supernatural phenomena standpoint, it's better to grow it out. But I can use the hair for different things after it's cut, and I can regenerate it almost immediately. If you want it shortened, I don't mind cutting it. And then immediately pulls clippers. I just think you'd stand out too much if it's so long that it hits the ground. Let us handle everything else. What's the point in me going again? We'll help you out with the store, too. You really intend to collect a lot of hair, ha! We have shaking while holding the tongs and bag. You can just leave it. Clippings of my cut hair could be used for some sort of spell. But because I'm an inhabitant of the spirit world, any parts of me that are removed will lose their spiritual power and disappear after 7 days. These braided bracelets still seem fine, though. It'll stay if you use it for a specific purpose. Basically, if you use it for something which bears a name, it becomes something new. As long as it keeps the form of that thing whose name it bears, it'll keep its magical powers. So I don't mind if you take it with you, but in addition to that, it's easy for the thoughts and feelings of a person to settle in their own hair. Depending on how it's used, anything could happen. And on that note, if anything weird happens to you as a result, let me know immediately. The serious nod. Looks like you're really getting the hang of dealing with Kaoru, Dara-san. This feels like the setup for another R18 chapter version. You seem pretty good at this. Well, I'm always doing Kaoru's hair, right? All that money I save on haircuts goes straight to my allowance. The face. They really don't need to go so far. And again, Kaoru's entire look, from the haircuts to the outfits, is just Hinata, really. Hinata is quite, with the haircuts and everything, quite literally grooming Kaoru. But basically, Kaoru's look is decided by Hinata, because they say it's hand-me-downs and stuff, but Kaoru does not dress as Hinata does at all. They really don't need to go so far to offer such a thing for me. Not like they'd listen if I said it's fine, but what is that bzzing? It's worth noting that she's wanted to do this for a while now. It's not totally for Dada's sake. Then, all done. I have a good idea of what we'll need for the day of the event, so leave that to me. See ya. Right. The day of. And we have menacing aura. This Dara-san. And again, if the problem was standing out, they have made things worse. A person like this selling something like that? Irresistible. They won't be able to get enough. You just wanted to see me like this, didn't you? And you guys really cut it short. I thought I was going to be turned into a nun, and then translation note, a Buddhist nun. And they're taking pictures. Grandpa's jumper jacket and my t-shirt and shorts that were the wrong size. I'm glad they finally got their time to shine. But it's not just that. These temporary tattoos or whatever to hide the secret spells on my arms, and these thin socks that disguise the pattern on my legs, they don't seem like things you'd normally use. Oh, what have we here? Thanks for looking after Kaoru and Hinata. I'm Chiyo, their mother. And we have provided the stockings. Hello, provided the temporary tattoos. And we have Nagi. So, again, she is going to have to keep it cool around the two of them without them finding out who she is. But I like this. I like that she's going to get to interact with these two. This is Hatahiro Sayako-chan. It might be better to keep calling her Nagi-san for you two, though. Pleased to meet you. She's one of my friends. Oh, like from when you said the few times a year that I go to concerts, I go with my friends. Oh, I'm Yamada. I just happened to meet Kaoru and Hinata through a game. Where have we met before? No way. Of course not. Ha ha. I see. Sorry about that. I just felt like you reminded me of someone I respect. You seem quite alike. I see. That's quite nice to hear. Or maybe it's more like, I wonder if that's what she'd be like with a different air about her. I'm sorry for ever dressing up like this. Feel free to drop by her house whenever you want. I've already stopped by several times. Maybe we could go all out and do something together next time. Sounds good. These are cool. Yeah, sure. As long as I've got some free time, then maybe. This is getting to be a pain in the ass. At a rural flea market like this one, a vendor like this really stands out. She sold out super quickly. By the way, part of Dara-san's sales were given to Fureki-sensei under the legitimate pretense of being payment for costume expenses. Cute. And we have also the bunk outfit Kaoru. While he was there, he also handed over a character blueprint for a new collaborative project. What is this? Killer of Toy Poodle? It's a modeling for the patterns on the clothes. The hair that was collected from Dara-san. And they create a Dara-san doll. Hup. And then what? Because we see, I was like, does he also have a doll of himself? Or is it just, he's tossing it, and then we have the feet at the top because he's leaping over to land on the bed? Dara-san is complete. It took on a new role as a pillow for Kaoru. Again, this feels like the setup for R18 version, the second R18 version. Or maybe there even is more than one R18 version of a chapter. Not just like side doujinshi, but actual R18 versions of a chapter like there was for chapter 7, I think it was. Quit following me. I don't want to get roped into more of your shenanigans. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I freaking love them. This is so good. Alright, we have our translator's notes and everything. Cute, I love the detail they put in. Thank you to the scanlators as usual, as always. Okay, so with all that aside, we get to do one more. Very good chapter once again. I loved it. I want to say, I like the detail that their mom, that Chiyo and Nagi are friends. I like that. I kind of like that it's a small town and that the mom is into this kind of stuff and the mom and her are mutual friends over that, but also the fact that she's only like 18 or 19. I kind of like that because there were, of course, friends that I went to concerts with, like when I was in high school, college. Like when I was in high school, college, there were friends I had that were like a good 2 or 3 years older, and then other friends that I had that were up to 5 years younger that we would just go to concerts and stuff together whenever we had like a big group and stuff. So I kind of like this idea of, the friends going to concerts and everything, but it's an even bigger age gap than that. There's kind of a pretty large age gap if she's like 18 and Hinata's what did Hinata turn? Did she turn like 14 or 15? I don't 100% remember. But then even if she had her when she was 18, she has got to be like in her 30s by now. So it is a pretty big age gap, but I think the age gap friendship there is cute, especially since it's a small town and everything. I think it's really cute. But either way, with that aside, let's go to chapter 20. There's always the meme of guy friend groups being such a weird assortment of ages, and that's how it was for me, like with my gaming friends and stuff. Like when I was in college, when I was like 18, I had a friend group playing games with that ranged from like 12 to in their 30s. So it's like just a wild age group of guy friends. But either way, to start things off with chapter 20, we have the Western Mount Yuki and the Eastern Mount Ugoma. This is our first time getting names. In those days, they had yet to be named, but both were under the control of the lord at the foot of the mountains. The day after the storm, the corpse-like Jurota staggered back to the western village, arriving to see a mountain of dead bodies piled in the town square, and several officials inspecting them. Jurota, you're safe. You kept yourself safe. Boss, Jurota had no way of knowing that all of those who were laid out had lost their lives in a single night due to their involvement with the priestess's murder. For those who had given in to the rumors and harbored strong hatred towards the eastern village, this was the result of their own malice, hostility, and murderous intent being turned back on themselves. The officials, seeing a clearly unusual number of crushed limbs among the dead, were afraid to get involved with the horrific scene. I mean, honestly, is this not like a cleansing for a place? Again, imagine if in any place all of the really hateful and resentful people just had all their hatred and resentment turned back on themselves, and all that were left were non-hateful, non-resentful people. The village was kind of cleansed here. This rot must be the work of some illness, so they said, and promptly ordered the bodies to be burned. They left as if they were fleeing from something. The western village, lacking able-bodied men, gathered the bodies with the help of the eastern villagers. It's said that the smoke from the burning lasted several days. The survivors of the western village whispered among themselves. On that night of the storm, the sound of the rain was torn apart by the screams that echoed across the valley. A shadow with a serpent's body and 6 arms straddled and sprawled over the houses. By all accounts, it was the newly reborn Yamatagi Madara, revived after consuming the priestess's family, all of whom had been massacred. Even now it must be deep in the mountains tending its wounds, glaring at us, cursing us for our betrayal. Since the beginning, wasn't it the younger priestess who would confront the threats that lived deep in the mountains? Thought Jurota when he heard the rumors. During the repair of the shrine, he rummaged through the debris, wondering if he could find anything useful. That's where he saw it. I should have noticed. Why did blank Dono and Tsubaki leave her parents to head to the house in the eastern village? Why did unsettling rumors suddenly start circulating around the village? A phrase carved on a certain left-behind bamboo strip alongside the name of the younger priestess. Sooner. I should have noticed sooner. Blank Dono's severed limbs, among the remains of the western villagers, and a blade. Dismemberment. The record of the snake. And the sword and bow. The sacrifice. Blank Dono wouldn't just leave her equipment at home, surely. The cause. These were the acts of her relatives. Even without understanding the details of the spells, their malice was palpable. After that, and using the repair of the shrine as pretext, Jurota dirtied his hands with thievery for the first time in his life. Weapons, charms, bamboo slips. I was wondering if he was going to be the one to create the shrine with the limbs sealed in it, the way it is now. Wooden slips, scrolls, pages of spells, beads, stones, medicine, rope, amulets, powders, studs, musical instruments, anything like that. Every such thing he took back with him. Joha! And we have some sort of Ultraman. Kauru's watching. Ha! And then we have somebody firing off a key blast. Then blaze. We have something Fury Gunblaze. Beam. Fires it. 20th Strange Encounter. Zoodododon. And then getting into the cabinets. And that's the opening playing in the background, I guess. Or maybe just Kaoru singing it along. New Year's holidays, summer vacation, they're coming so quick, there's no time for sleep. Join hands with your comrades and leap to your feet. Fierce and Furious will do it. Let's go. We're gonna go for the kill. Gun blaze. We have all of the snacks lined out. You seem to have brought a lot of stuff today. Did you sneak all of this out from your place? You shouldn't go overboard like this too often. I'll hear you out, but take some of this back with you. So, what are you here for? Say, Dara-san, can you shoot laser beams? Huh? Basically, I want to shoot laser beams. Huh? Beams, huh? I mean, there's all kinds of beams, right? I always used a bow for shooting projectiles, but my intrusive thought needs to be quelled. Other than that, there was this thing called a spitball. A stone, and she's scratching a marking into it. As I recall, you do this, and then she fires it out through a tree, and it's going through the forest, making a bunch of crashing. Both of their reactions. Huh? Back when I was alive, that would have just dug into a tree trunk. This is the first time I've tried it since turning into this. That's awesome. So, again, she wasn't even aware of how much more powerful she is now. But it's not a beam. Yeah, I suppose you're right. Let's see if we can think of a clever way to fabricate some kind of beam. Anyway, it's a bit dangerous to be doing that here. Let's head to the spirit world. A beam. Oh my, what's this? Our legend-class curse god can't even manage to shoot out a beam? What's with that face? Hand me my sketchbook and pencil bag. Coming right up. Let's see. If I use a technique with a mark like this, a fireball. It's like a hitodama, but isn't as hot as they are. Basically, it uses one's own spiritual energy to produce light. I have my own night vision art, so I don't usually need to use it. Translators note hitodama are the glowing ghostly orbs of fire believed to be souls of the departed. I think we've had that before in Dara-san, haven't we? I don't remember. Then let's see, if you call up several of these at the same time and use this symbol to compress them into a thin line, then we can simultaneously fire it at a high speed. In that case, the crest would look like... Is that enough light for this kind of spell? Let's redirect the amount of spiritual power to this side. I'm not that familiar with it, but is this what programming is like? Thinks Kaoru. Well, it'll be something like this. Let's head outside. Hold out your hand. Overlap the crests on each hand for at least 4 seconds. 4 seconds, an anti-explosion measure. And, like so, and Kaoru was able to fire a beam. Shift your hands more than 40 degrees. And we have a massive light beam fired out into the sky. Whoa. Whoa. It doesn't really have any heat or power, it's just for show. I mean, that's kind of perfect. But even so, it'll take your own spiritual power to fire it. Overdo it and you'll get tired and pass out, so be careful. Just overcome with power, firing beams. Well, we'll probably get bored of it by the time the crest wears out and fades away. And then we have the crest printed out. One-chan, One-chan. And we create gloves. He passed out. Just more beams being fired. Unrivaled Fury. Unrivaled Fury Gunblaze is a popular robot anime that originally aired on TV 40 years ago. The 3 robots, Blaze Hito, Blaze Fuga, and Blaze Mido, all combined together to form the invincible robot named Gunblaze. The show got a bad reputation with parents due to its somewhat grim and cruel subject matter. The Misugiya siblings knew about it because it was remade as an OVA about 10 years ago, which reignited its popularity. Having become interested, the two even went back and studied the original work. Okay. And then reference to Getarobo. Is Getarobo the one that was Go Nagai? I know he did a mecha. Is that one Getarobo? I think it might be. Again, I'm only familiar with Devilman and Cutie Honey, but I think Go Nagai also did Getarobo. Okay. Well, with that all aside, I guess that's where we'll end. And for those of you who made it all the way to the end, as a bonus, you'll get the intrusive thoughts. The intrusive thoughts are those of us who read the R18 version of Chapter 7 have already seen Kaoru shoot a beam. That was the intrusive thought. But with that aside, that's where we'll end. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. Again, this will probably be out for you after the next episode of the anime has already come out because I have such a backlog of things to get posted. But I will have also probably watched the episode pretty much as soon as it came out. So, you know, I'll be there with you by the time this video is out. But either way, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I loved these chapters. I love this series. So like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of these chapters, my first thoughts and reaction. Subscribe for more Reiwa no Dara-san, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. Well, the muscle memory sometimes takes over. No, I guess you can't. I guess you can't really do that now, can you? Because I have been falsely suspended. So if you want to help support the channel by dropping a super thanks or sharing around, it's appreciated. If you want to help support the channel by becoming a member or patron, you get One Piece Bingo a bit early, your name at the end of videos, and of course you're helping to support the channel. So just hit join down below to become a member. Go to patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes. Their link will be in the description to become a patron. Thank you so much to people who are already members and patrons. Thank you to chosen regulars Evan Holly and Bertie Wooster, Magical Girls DD Ben and Maru, Sheridan Student, David Langstaff, Slayer Candidates SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Element Pate Ariel. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.